The Burgh, the show where three freshman sports wonderkins debate all things Steel City and beyond. I'm your host, Trent Marks, and joining me today is Pirates fanatic Maggie Leskabeck, who hit a triple in high school softball, and club soccer player Nick Evans, who has not hit a triple in high school softball. How are you both doing today?
I'm doing good. I mean, it's a great day to be on the show. Third week in a row for me. I feel like it's a regular thing for me right now.
You're getting lucky over here.
I know.
I'm excited. It's my first time on the show. A little bit nervous, but I'm excited to talk sports. So I'm ready.
First time on the show. We're getting used to it. Yeah. Coming into this NFL season, the Colts seem to be losing sight of being AFC contenders until they came in and swept the fans away with nonstop wins. Nick, do you think the Colts could be considered serious AFC contenders this season?
Without a doubt. I think any team that starts the season without a loss can be contenders. The O-line is great. Star running back Jonathan Taylor, great running back. Did he score all their touchdowns this weekend, I think? I'm not sure. Daniel Jones, very comfortable, very accurate. I was worried they would be like the Saints from last year. Saints started out 2-0. They looked great. They fell apart. But I don't think this Colts team is like that. I think this is a great team. The defense is strong. 7th in yards allowed, actually, on defense. They're tied for 3rd in interceptions. Their division is terrible. They have the Jaguars, who looking all right now, but they won't last for the full season. 2 0-3 teams. Texans are winless. The Titans are winless. Weak schedule. They won't get past the Chiefs and Bills in the playoffs, though, I think. I think they are they're a great team right now.
Well, I highly doubt this because, like you said, they're in like a bad division. Almost all the teams in the division have not won yet, and
which is good for them. That's good for them.
Well, the Steelers are also in the AFC, and not trying to be like someone who's been a Pittsburgh fan their whole life, but I also think the Steelers are off to a good start. Even though they lost the first game, they've won their past 2 games. They've been looking really good, and I think that whenever the Steelers do end up facing the Colts, they are going to pack a punch and they're going to win.
The Steelers do play the Colts this year. Actually, they play them in the regular season. They're the only AFC North team that plays the Colts, which I think they're going to play the best team from that division. I know the Ravens play the Texans, but the Colts, I think, are the best team in that division. I'm expecting them to win that division. I'm expecting them to make the playoffs. Host a home playoff game. They might actually even win a playoff game.
But like the Steelers, like everyone always says how they're gonna suck this year, and like they usually almost always turn it around. They almost always beat the Ravens. Like everyone thinks the Ravens might win, but like Steelers usually end up coming home with the win. So.
Well, let's focus more on the Colts here. What do you think about that O-line? I mean, they've been great. They're strong.
They haven't been really good in the past, have they? Like ever since like Andrew Luck's left, like they've been plagued with injuries.
It seems like we have a good debate with that one, but now many teams have had their eyes on being contenders coming into the season, but with some teams winning 0 of 3 games, there have been a few setbacks for some NFL teams as they begin to fall behind in the race. The real question is, which team do you both of you think, should start giving thought to the next season? Maggie?
I think the Jaguars have. They're already 0-3, but on the right side, they have flexibility with their draft picks. So, like, it would allow them to trade down for higher draft picks, and so that way they have better picks in the draft. And they also have benefit from the Saints' ability to improve their roster. And also, the Saints have really bad quarterback availability, so like the draft.
It's week 4. Why are we talking about the draft right now? It's week 4. If you are a fan of a team, okay, you're in a playoff spot, which the Jaguars are. They're in the playoffs right now as we speak. I know it's early. If you were a fan of a 2-1 team, and the coach comes up to the press conference, okay, he's at the mic. You're excited to hear what he says. You're excited about this next game day, all right? You and all your friends. Your team's finally winning. Jacksonville's finally winning. They were terrible last year. He comes up to the mic and he says, I can't wait for next year. We got to tear it all down. how upset would you be as a fan to be 2-1 winning in a terrible division? Once again, they're in that division with the Colts. Terrible division. How can you sit there and think that a 2-1 team needs to look to next year?
I mean, personally, like, you can always, no matter how bad you're losing or how good you're winning, you can always look forward to the future. Like, so, like.
You know, the Steelers are 2-1 right now. The Steelers are 2-1 right now. If I was going to point to a team that should be looking forward to next year, I would pick the New Orleans Saints. I mean, everyone's picking the New Orleans Saints. Their starting quarterback would be an emergency quarterback on probably half the rosters in the league.
No, that's the thing.
When they're in a weak division,
quarterback.
when they're in a weak division and they still can't win, that shows that you're a bad team. They have not got an interception yet this year. The defense is terrible. They have the second most touchdowns allowed. Not even just the Saints. I mean, there's so many other winless teams around this league other than a 2-1 Jaguars team. There's the Jets. There's the Dolphins, which I was between the Dolphins and the Saints, actually. But the Dolphins had an impressive game against the Bills. I think they showed a little life. The Texans and Titans, the Giants, all these 0-3 teams, if you're not winning football games and it's week 4, you need to be looking to next year, not when you're in the playoff race.
But you also said the Saints quarterback would be an emergency quarterback for any other teams. That could potentially be a problem for any other team that wants to sign him. So, like, you look at that.
I don't think any team wants to sign the Saints quarterbacks. I don't think those guys are very bad. Spencer Rattler is not an NFL quality quarterback.
You know, I honestly, I agree with when you said the Dolphins because I think their system is a little bit broken. But honestly, if I were to say between the two that you've picked, Jaguars and Saints, I'd have to say Saints should be looking for their next season. I mean, Jaguars is looking like number 2 in the AFC right now, and I think they know what they're doing by this point. I think they still have a few things that they need to touch up on. But
I like that you touched on the Dolphins there because I mean their quarterback can't stop turning the ball over. Their star receiver has some questionable hobbies outside of the NFL.
And Tua does get hurt very often.
For sure. I mean, time will tell.
All right, and that seems like a good debate there. In light of the Steelers starting their international game in Ireland on this upcoming Sunday, we have to ask, do you think international expansion is going to be good for the NFL? Maggie, your thoughts?
I actually think there should be some teams like outside the U.S. so that way people from outside of the country wouldn't have to always be looking into teams in the United States. Like, imagine if Ireland had a team, imagine if Italy had a team, imagine all those other countries that would be like, that are so into like football and like sports like this.
Imagine having to travel from Pittsburgh to go to Ireland. I mean, you play all these games outside of the country. They've played in Sao Paulo. They've played in Dublin. This year they're playing in Berlin. They've played in Berlin before. They've played in Madrid. All these international games are great. Overseas because time zones in the U.S., it's very hard for those international fans to see games. So when they can see a game inside their country, that's great. I mean, the Steelers are playing in Ireland. They have a large fan base there.
I even think there were like some sports bars that are like all throughout, like Steelers sports bars that are all throughout countries. Now there's one in Ireland. I was just talking to someone that said there was one in Ireland. So I think that would be really cool if they built like other stadiums and had their own teams in their countries instead of having to come.
I don't think that they would be able to. The NFL, there's so many travel problems with that. Like imagine on a Thursday night you're traveling from Chicago to go to play in Berlin. I think there's too many travel restrictions with that. But the fans overseas obviously love American football. The tickets sell very well. The first NFL international game ever actually was at the time the most attended football game ever out of seas. Steelers this weekend, they're playing the Vikings. That'll be a great showcase because Steelers have a great fan base there. Vikings, I think, are going to compete really well with the Steelers in this game. I think Carson Wentz is not as bad as people think, and I think, personally, better coaching than the Steelers do. I like their coaching staff, and I think the Steelers have too many problems when it comes to the coaching aspect of a football game. I think they've got the right star players. To see them collapse on an international stage would be pretty rough because there's a lot more eyes on them.
Aaron Rodgers definitely had a good game last weekend. Win's a win. They pulled it out. No matter how ugly it is, they came out with a win in the end, and that's really all that matters.
I think it'll be even uglier overseas because when you're playing a 9:30 game people are getting up, they're watching that game, and it's like a morning primetime game because you're the only game going on. I mean, this isn't just the only game that's been played this year. I mean, the Chargers and the Chiefs have played this year. They played in Brazil. That was a great game. The Vikings are going to play back-to-back here. They're staying overseas. That's 2 weeks in a row that they're not coming back to the U.S. I mean, do you think that would take a toll on these players at all, playing overseas? If you had to play teams over there, maybe that could be a solution to the travel problems where you just stay there and you play multiple games?
I definitely think it could be tough on the players, like jet lag especially, and it's just really, like, it would be really tough on the players.
I get that. I think I could see both sides of that. Coming up next, we'll talk to you about all things Pirates, so make sure you stick around.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today, we face an unprecedented crisis. Tens of millions of refugees have been forced from their homes. But you can make a difference. Turn disruption and despair to hope and opportunity. Even small amounts make a big difference. Provide shelter, support, or jobs in your community. The more we understand, the greater sense of belonging we create. Act now. Visit supportcrisisrelief.org.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh. As the MLB season comes to an end, let's take a moment and discuss our beloved Pirates as they play their final games of the year. Paul Skeens, Rookie of the Year and ace pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates, will for the second year not be playing in the MLB playoffs. His talent is undeniable, and the roster around him continues to disappoint. With only 4 winning seasons in the last 30 years and no playoff appearances since 2015, do you think it is possible for the Pirates to make it back to the playoffs while Skeens is on the roster? Nick?
No. There's no way. The Pirates won't make the playoffs, period, no matter who's on the roster. They could have the 27 Yankees on this roster with the management that they have and the coaching they have. It's just not possible. I mean, we heard it on, you already told me, you said 4 times over 500 since 1992.
Mm-hmm.
Pirates have not signed a multi-year free agent contract since 2016. Every guy is a 1-year rental that they dump at the deadline. They send them to waivers. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. This management is terrible. They've never won the NL Central. I don't see how many more years Pirates fans can take this. And if Skeens is gone, I mean, we've seen it in the past with Garrett Cole and fans have been frustrated, but Skeens is just different. He's a guy who can be the face of the MLB. He can be the face of the Pirates being successful, and they don't spend. They don't do anything to help it. It is so embarrassing to say you're a Pirates fan and you have no way to combat how bad they're run.
Yeah. So I think he's safe, but we did ask 50 RMU students if we think that he is gonna be on the team when they make the playoffs, and 84% said no.
And that's spot on. That's spot on. Those 16% of people must have been messing around.
I do hope personally that they make the playoffs with him as a Pirate, but they have to do some drastic changes in order. Like, they have to fire, their management sucks. They have to fire the general manager, fire their owner, and get new management, get new front office management, and they actually need to spend their money, and they need to go out and get new bats, get new gloves, go out and get new free agents that are actually going to be good for the team.
Well, if Hope won football games, the Pirates would actually be successful because we've been hoping for years. 30 years, actually. 1992 was the last time that you can really say that they've made a mark, that they've been successful. I mean, they did go to playoffs with those young guys when McCutcheon was on the team. And yeah, that was fun and all. That was fun, but now it's just back to the status quo.
That's genuinely the last time that I felt like they were good. Like, I've always tried to stay positive with them, but all in all, they suck. And, like, I've always said this, the minute they traded Neil Walker away, the minute they got bad. He is the Pittsburgh kid, hometown kid, and I always said this, as soon as they traded him away, they hit rock bottom. And, like, I've always tried to stay positive with them, but all in all, it's like, seriously, stuff needs to happen.
See, I can agree with you on the fact that they need to spend more money, because I think they're really being a little too safe with it, and I think they need to spend a little bit more to properly use the best of their abilities that they've been given, and I think the way to do that is by spending more money to get what they need.
I really wish that they would spend money. The fans of Pittsburgh love their baseball team. If they did spend money, this pitching staff is good enough, I think, where they could compete. The bats are bad. Even the guys who are showcased as the Pirates' bats, like O'Neal Cruz and Brian Reynolds. O'Neal Cruz and Brian Reynolds are actually the first two Pirates players ever to both have 170 strikeouts in a single season. These are the guys that you have leading your team. You can't win baseball games.
All right, and continuing on with the Pirates, while some players come and go, a team's manager is incredibly important for a team's success. This season, the Pirates fired their longtime manager, Derek Shelton, and Don Kelly took the role as team manager. With his limited sample size, do you think Kelly is the right choice to lead the Bucks moving forward?
I do think so, because I feel like from watching games for a while, I definitely think he cares about the team more. And like he shows more, like even though he gets ejected every once in a while, I feel like he definitely shows more emotion on the team. Like he definitely cares about his team.
Mm-hmm. Caring about a team doesn't win baseball games. It just doesn't. They went 56-63 this year. That's still a losing record. It's time to look outside of the Pirates organization. Skip Shoemaker, former Marlins manager, is out there. But let's just compare the two right now, okay? The stats are not too much different, in my honest opinion. Batting average around the same. It's not a management issue. It's a batting issue. The walks per game are up, I guess. The hits are down with Don Kelly. Like everything's too it's too spotty to actually tell. The Pirates are a very streaky team. They can look good at some points, and then the next day they don't even show up. It's terrible. It's time to look outside the organization. They have a lot of young guys. They got the best minor league player in baseball in Connor Griffin, and he'll be wasted just like Skeens. I'm sure he's already hoping that he can be traded away from them.
He's our age, so he can potentially grow in the minor leagues, and then once he hits early 20s, he can explode.
He's ready now. I think he's going to be on the roster next year, and it'll be just another waste of a talent.
But
this guy Skip Shoemaker, he was a former Marlins manager. He's the NL Manager of the Year in 2023. If I was the Pirates, I would look for someone like him outside of the organization. He has a good track record with young players. He's currently the bench coach for Team USA upcoming in the Baseball Classic in 2026. There needs to be a new spark. There's no spark for these guys. You mentioned Don Kelly being ejected. I think I saw today that he's been ejected 4 times this year. That's all good and all, but when you're getting ejected, it means something wrong is going on in the game. And every game something goes wrong for this team. It's embarrassing.
Heading into the next season, the MLB is going to implement a new automated ball and strike system for their challenge system. While automated officials have been used in other leagues around the world, do you think that this new system will be good for the MLB?
I do. I think it'll be good. I think it's better than a full-blown robot umpire because the human aspect of the game needs to be there. Mm-hmm. 7 teams voted against that, so a lot of teams obviously agree with that. One thing I am worried about, though, is that this could impact good framing by catchers. That's a big part of the catching game in baseball. It doesn't slow down the game. MLB has obviously tried to move the pace of the game up. It doesn't take very long. Teams get 2 challenges per game. You get it right, you get your challenge back, just like in all sports whenever you get a challenge right. And if you don't get it right, you're going to lose it. I do think it's good because there's been so many times where these calls will determine outcomes of games, and it sucks. The human error does affect games like that. But I think this will clear it up a little bit. Like, imagine you're in the World Series and a ball or strike gets called that's not right, and then they can challenge it, and you get it right, and your team wins. You weren't able to do that in the past.
And like, I do agree with you. Like, it could definitely go both ways. Like, it could fix all like the wrong calls that go on, but like, it could also like personally, I enjoy like seeing like coaches or whatever get fired up every once in a while with like bad calls. So like that could possibly be taken away, but definitely people would like enjoy like the more accurate like pitch calls and like the pitches being like more accurately called, and like all in all, no one would really have to disagree. But I agree with you on the part that it'll be really good.
Well, they used the automatic ball and strike system. They used it in spring training this year, and I know a lot of the players liked it. They've been using it in the minor leagues. I think eventually it's going to be just another normal part of the game, just like how the pitch clock is now. It's just the game adapts over time.
I mean, if we look at it, the system has already been used. It has already been tested. It was used in 60% of spring training games, and it was used at the 2025 All-Star Game. And I think both of those went really well. They had a 52.2% success rate, meaning the players who challenged them were correct that much of the time. They had the challenges that happened, they were successful, and the umpires that called them.
The players love it. I also like that you can't have the review of it by coaches. These can only be made by the catcher, the pitcher, and the batter. You can't have review for it. You can't have coaches be, hold on, let's challenge. So it's truly your batting eye is going to help you for batters. If you have a bad batting eye and you challenge calls, you lose your team's challenges. That's going to be very frustrating.
Yeah, I agree. Well, next up, how hot can hot takes get? Find out with our talent when we come back from break.
The death of George Floyd, who died in police custody Monday night.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation. It's going to take more than just us, as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to help us make a change, because it just can't be us.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh. Our talent decided to surprise us, and they brought us their own takes. So today we're going to find out just how heated these takes really are, starting with Maggie.
All right, so I do think that the Pirates will win the division if they keep making moves this offseason, especially in the front office. Like I said earlier, if they get rid of Ben Cherington and Bob Nutting and get new people to replace them and actually spend some money to get decent players, they could definitely win the division. So like I feel like if they just like wipe the front office clean and hire in new people, I definitely think they could do that along with getting some new bats for the team and just hopefully winning some games.
If I was having a take party, you'd be turned away at the door. I don't think that take. I think that take has probably been used by every Pirates fan for the last 100 million years.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. I guess.
It's what they can do. It's if they do this. It's if they do that. They're not going to. They're not going to.
What if they do?
The Pirates don't do it.
They might.
What if I get $1 million tomorrow?
You might. Who knows? You might win a lottery.
It's not happening.
Well, I personally think that if they do spend more money on bats and fire Ben Cherington and Bob Nutting, the whole Pittsburgh fan base will rejoice, and maybe people will actually be going to the games if those two are gone, and they have new people on the team. They would definitely be filling their seats instead of just filling the seats on Paul Skeeton's days.
Well, you can't fire Bob Nutting. You have to sell the team, and Ben Cherington is Bob Nutting's guy, and it's very obvious that Ben Cherington will be back next year, which means probably Don Kelly will be back this next year, which means we'll probably be talking again next year about what they can do for the next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. They're not spending money on bats. The Pirates and spending money are just on the complete opposite sides of a spectrum from each other. It's just not possible. They don't sign multi-year contracts. They don't pay anybody. The only people they pay are the people on their roster who aren't good. They paid Brian Hayes, gone. Paid Reynolds, sucks. I wouldn't be surprised if they pay Cruz because of how bad he is. They want him to stay.
I do think they should spend more money and buy bats and maybe lighten up on their who they're choosing to be on their higher up. But I think we need to hear Nick's take now.
I agree. So my take for the Steelers will be that this year for the AFC North, the Steelers will beat the Ravens in this division. The Pittsburgh Steelers have the Steelers don't play the Ravens until the final 5 weeks of the season. AFC North is a very competitive battle. The defense will be healthy by the time they play them. They don't play them until December. AFC North is a very, very tough division. The Steelers' schedule is more friendly than the Ravens because the Ravens will play the Rams and the Chiefs. Steelers and Ravens offense are both top 2 in touchdowns scored, so I think the Steelers can match the Ravens offense. The Ravens beat themselves. I mean, Derrick Henry has fumbled now in prime time for his team twice. The Ravens' defense is also not good. They have the most yards allowed per game, second most passing yards against, third most rushing yards against. They're 30th in sacks, and they're not getting to the QB. I don't think this Ravens team is as good as everyone hyped them up for before the season. I haven't seen anything that's impressed me yet.
I definitely agree with that. Like, I think the Steelers will get on a roll, and they'll beat the Ravens out or wherever they're playing. If they play in Pittsburgh, good. If they're playing Baltimore, it's even better. Ravens can be booed out of their own stadium for all I care. Like, if the Steelers get on a roll, I definitely think they could beat the Ravens and end up winning the division.
I think the key words there were if they get on a roll. I think they've had they've had better seasons.
You can compare this team to the teams of before, but they actually have a winning quarterback now. They have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is clutch. The Ravens have forced 2 total turnovers compared to the Steelers 7, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't turn over the ball. He's known for not turning over the ball in his career. So as Ravens defense that already doesn't force turnovers, I think the Steelers will profit from that. And the Ravens, they beat themselves. I think that their coaching is just as bad as the Steelers right now.
I think we've had some good takes today. Thanks for watching Sports Talk in the Burgh, and don't forget to join us next week for even crazier sports talk.